Hi Scorpio. This reading is for anyone who identifies as or is terribly interested in a Scorpio at this time. Everybody. Let me turn my 80s mix down just a little bit. You can still hear it, right? Sometimes, Scorpio, I've got to have some music on that I'm not allowed to have on here, so I just try to keep it lower than you can hear. This reading is for mid-May 2019, but it's also for whenever you find it. If the title or happen-chance of any kind brought you to it. And it is for Scorpios, Scorpions of any kind. Sun, moon, rising. Maybe it's your Venus, maybe it's your Mars, maybe it's your North Node. Maybe you have reasons why you identify with other placements or signs that you don't even have planet placements in that I don't know about. Or again, maybe you just came to the reading for any reason. I don't know if she still says it, but I remember a while back, tarot just because she explained it in a really great way when she would say, like, if for any reason your intuition, basically, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but she basically explained, like, if for any reason your intuition pulls you to a reading, go with it. Just listen to the message and see if it could be for you for reasons unknown, Anyway, Scorpios of any kind, we're almost 2 minutes in, and we're just about to be under the Scorpio full moon. So it's perfect timing for your reading. I actually pull the names before. Yeah. A tarot reader on YouTube who's a friend of mine does that, and it inspired me to. So it just happens that when I get to your reading, we're under the Scorpio full moon. What's going on, Scorpios? This doesn't happen very often for me. If you're interested in a private reading, a personal reading, scroll down to the description box below. Check out your options, your links. My email is LunarticksTarot@gmail.com. Scorpios. I'm going to do a Celtic cross for you today. The Knight of Coins, crossed by the Magician. Oh, I'm not trying hard enough not to shake the table. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try really hard not to even hardly touch the table. I haven't even watched the Virgo reading yet to see how that went. And I know in the Aqua video it shook real bad. So I'm going to do my best. Knight of Coins and the Magician. So you're moving steadily and slowly toward something, toward a goal, toward a goal. You may be dealing with an earth sign who's moving steadily and slowly toward a goal. Some of you out there have encountered or been interacting with someone who you feel is a divine feminine counterpart this year. And maybe prior to this year, but certainly this year. Maybe a Taurus, maybe a Cancer, and you're wanting to take action regarding this. Oh, it may be your mother, so it may not be a divine feminine counterpart. We have the Empress card in the root of the situation. It may just be a divine feminine energy in your life, or some of you are this divine feminine energy in the root of the situation, creating something. I just felt like saying a website, creating your destiny, essentially, but creating something. And you want to take action regarding this thing. And you have all the tools that you need. You do, with the Magician card crossing you. Or there's someone that you've been, interacting with. It's them that feels like taking action regarding something with you, possibly. Let's get the rest of the Celtic cross out so I have a clear picture before I start. You have the Hierophant in your past. All right, we're ready. So again, Taurian energy. In your crowning thoughts, you've got the 7 of Spears, that's the 7 of Fire, and the 5 of Coins came out with it too. The Sun card in the near future, 2 of Spears, 2 of Fire in your inner world, 6 of Cups, 6 of Chalices, 6 of Water in your external world. The Queen of Coins, another Taurus, is your advice, possible Taurus, or Virgo, Capricorn, Earth energy, so much Earth energy coming through in your reading for you, Scorpio, during the Scorpio full moon, which is obviously shedding, Taurian sun light on us, right? 4 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, 4 of Air. I might try to find a way to let you see these with me as well as I draw clarifiers for them, but we're going to talk about them more first. Cut to. Okay, hi again, Scorpios. I haven't flipped the cards around to face you just yet, and in fact, it's a couple of days later. So it was under the Scorpio full moon when I originally laid your reading and began to interpret them just upon first glance in a really shallow way, but it's a few days later, post full moon in your sign, that we're finishing up here. The one card I didn't tell you the outcome before was the Tower. So ultimately, by the end of the month, or really at this point, maybe middle of next, you are, for a lot of you, feeling very much like yourself, but for a lot of others in this Tower energy, where there likely is a breakthrough, a truth that is that you are enlightened with, that comes through, but often with the Tower as a result of a lot of things falling apart, maybe falling away, leaving your life. With the 4 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, which I did show you before, this is a time of needing to be still, to be grateful for all that you have in your surrounding. If you have just been through a battle, or if you go through one soon with this Tower card and the outcome, this is about being the soldier who knows to come home and show gratitude for all that he has left, for the fact that he made it through that battle, has all the people or things or this version of himself now since he's been through the battle. And sometimes, that is all you have left after a battle. And I do think that this is post-battle for you with the 5 of Swords right below that on the bottom of the deck. And probably doing so, showing that gratitude, finding that gratitude through solemn contemplation and meditation in solitude, all on your own, all by yourself. What I'm picking up here is that with the Sun card in your near future, there is some clarity, some authenticity, perhaps your own, perhaps in your environment, the people around you in the near future, Scorpios. Maybe this could be a Leo. But there is some true happiness, I think, in the near future for you. It's just that the clarity that you receive that makes you really happy in the near future, you just, I think, haven't received the whole picture yet. There's still a bolt of lightning still to come through, some more truth to come through to that expands on what you learn in the near future that makes you very happy. This may have something to do with a loving soulmate energy in your external world, possibly, with the Six of Cups there in our external world. Here are those cards facing you now as we continue to move through and probably draw some clarifiers here. This is the Game of Thrones Tarot. If I didn't mention that in the first part of the video, you can find descriptions of this deck or you know, the creator, etc. In all decks that I use in Lunartics Tarot videos down below in the description. We're going to use the Radiant Rider-Waite to draw clarifiers. Okay, Scorpio. I'm not sure where I even left off with you, but meditating is your move right now. And I know that message gets old, but we'll get more specific. I can't convince you to do it, but I can tell you why. Like we said in the beginning, you're moving slowly and steadily toward a goal, with purpose, toward a goal. Maybe to increase your finances, but it's certainly to increase your health in some way, right? Your wealth is your health. And this coin can represent anything earthly, trying to increase your resources, your money, your time, your energy, your health, your wealth in some way, right? Whatever that goal is, I think that you are actually running into someone else who has all of the tools you need to complete your task, or perhaps has the tools that you don't, and together the two of you have all the tools that you need to get where you're going. Now, what's motivating you to slowly, stubbornly, purposefully, steadily, surely reach this goal may be a divine feminine in your life, your mother, a divine feminine counterpart, or just any divine feminine in your life, considering that we're all divine feminines and divine masculines, regardless of what journey that we're on, right? And in that case, it could even be you. Perhaps you are this divine feminine and you have created something that pushes you forward on your journey, on your voyage, as it were, according to this particular depiction, right? It could absolutely be your creation, your desire to create your own motherhood, and so what your child needs. But a divine feminine energy being the catalyst for this journey to begin with. And in your recent past, you may have had a teacher, a tradition, some kind of schooling, education, some sort of even just school of thought or shift in your own beliefs that has also propelled this slow, steady journey toward accomplishing a goal, right? Perhaps the teacher taught you much of what you need, but there's still some part of what you need. There's still some tool that you don't have that you need to rely on this other character for. Now, it could be you. That's not the message I see. It could be you. And I think I said that in the beginning. You do have all of the tools that you need. Maybe on your own. Possibly, yes. Maybe on your own. But possibly what I'm really feeling and reading here, it looks like it's somebody else who's offering you what you don't have. Maybe you need a little bit of funding, investment to get started. For example, if it's a Taurian, I want you to be real careful. Because if there's not a mother or a divine feminine in the root of the situation and a teacher in the past, then what we see are Taurian energies in the root and in the past. And it could absolutely be saying you had a Taurus mother, lover, friend, father, some Taurus that you were comfortable with. Maybe more than one Taurians that you've grown comfortable with. And so if this is a Taurus, you might miss the fact that they're not being totally forthcoming with you. maybe being a little bit of the trickster that the magician can sometimes be, because you might be identifying them with a Taurian energy that has always seemed so comforting and stable to you. And in fact, not only stable, but stable enough to match your current energy. This is a very Taurian energy and earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, but that's just a note for some. The signs won't always resonate. Don't get caught up or hung up on it. But be especially careful if you're saying, oh, this has got to be a good guy or a good woman, a good person to work with, because I know how Tauruses are. We're not all the same. I'm a Taurus sun. We're not all the same. I mean, and that's true for every zodiac sign. It's just a specific particular thing coming through here. Let me just skip right past these super annoying ads. Okay. In your crowning thoughts, when you can get quiet and go into the space of solemn contemplation and meditation, totally still, totally alone in solitude, totally quiet, again, showing gratitude for what it is that you have left after any past battles. You hear the truth of this on your own. As so many of us readers always say, you don't actually need this. This is to help you with your blind spots. But if you could get quiet enough to hear your intuition, if you were eating the right things and exercising as much as you need, engaging in the spiritual practices that your soul wants you to, or just that your energy body, if you will, wants you to, your own intuition and psychic abilities would tell you what you need to know without the cards. I still use the cards all the time. I try to do all of those practices in my life so that I can use them as best as possible. But we know the truth deep down. We do. And your own intuition, your higher self, is telling you that in spite of the fact that you've been in a lack mind state, and you've been maybe lacking specifically funds, lacking resources, wealth, health, energy, time, or specifically money and funds for a lot. This is still, and actually especially, a time to stand up for what you believe in. Even the best of us sometimes find ourselves cutting corners, bending the rules, our own moral boundaries sometimes, or considering it at least, right? For the sake of money, needing to feed ourselves and our families. Needing that health, not just the wealth or the time or the energy, the health, needing it, feeling like, well, I have no choice but to bend on what I believe. I have to pay the bills, I have to eat, whatever it is. Maybe more than that. Maybe, you have no trouble paying the bills and feeding your family, but you have to be able to afford to do something you love to do with a significant portion of your time, or your spirit and your emotional body will suffer so much that it doesn't really matter if your physical body and your mental body are okay or fine. They will in short order, they will shortly start to not be. If you're not feeding your spirit and you're not feeding your emotional body by allowing it to do something you love to do, allowing it to create and express yourself through creative expression, or just creating something in the world that you love to create. So whatever the reason is for thinking I might compromise on something that I believe at this point, your higher self is not just telling you, suggesting, advising. At this point in this reading, it's warning you to continue to stand up for what you believe, defend what you believe if you have to, rally support in the name of what you need, or what you believe if you have to. Definitely not a time to compromise on that. It looks like recently a lot of you have probably decided on what some of those beliefs are, formed new ones, maybe had a teacher, as we said. This could have been a teacher, but when the student is ready to learn a Buddhist principle, right? When the student is ready to learn, anyone can be the guru. So it may have been a particular specific person. It may have just been the multiverse at large, a series of synchronistic events that taught you, right? But you've added to your traditions or your belief system. And now you're already, perhaps some of you, considering bending them a little to fit with perhaps this magician character who has the rest of the tools that you need to keep moving your project forward slowly but steadily, right? So that you can work with this person. there are more strings attached than you can see currently. In the near future, something becomes very clear. You are allowed to express your authentic self through expressing this creation, possibly because this guy has provided the funding or the know-how or some other tool that you didn't have on your own, and it is beautiful and brilliant, and you are sharing openly, and you are experiencing true joy, and part of who you really are is shining. You're like a child again, because it's all new to you. But in the outcome of the situation, the rest comes to light. The strings that were attached come to light and bring some of this tumbling down. And I really think that it can also be a breakthrough spiritually, creatively, but it'll probably be through realizing why you didn't want to take all that this potential partner was offering, or bend your beliefs in the way that some of you may be considering in order to work with them, or in order just to move the project forward in general, even if you're not working with someone else. Now, what I see, the path that you're on now, is that this breakthrough, and possibly everything, a lot of things around you tumbling down to reach it, is coming one way or the other. Now, that again, that's the path that you're on now. We do these readings often to deviate from the path that we're on, to illuminate new options, to see the pitfalls, as I've been saying more and more recently. And it may be the case that for some of you, you don't compromise these beliefs. You're not even considering it. You are battling being in that lack mindset. Maybe that's what we see, is you needing to defend yourself against your own belief, transition out of this lack mindset, right? Adopt new ones. But with the path that you're on now, regardless of whether there's someone else you're working on, whether or not you compromise those beliefs, it still looks like, for some of you, this breakthrough is still coming, and possibly, like I said, in the form of everything kind of crumbling down around you. If that's the case, if this is inevitable, if it happens no matter what, then it was meant to, it needed to. What you had built up for yourself was not really for you, or if it was, it's not for you anymore. And it's just going to be nothing but truth and authenticity left. When the structure that doesn't belong to you breaks down. If it is someone external to you who's going to play a trickster kind of role, who may have extra strings attached to what they're offering you, who may not be totally forthright, who may be asking you to compromise beliefs, what your advice is here is to focus on your money. And some of you, if you don't compromise your beliefs, just because you have a lack mindset, if that's the path that you're on, some of you can change this outcome, and it won't have to all tumble down for you to realize or see the truth. You can just see it now. But your advice is to focus on your money and on being a creative and crafty individual that the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Earth, is. She's creative yet practical. She's fucking crafty, which might be what you need to lean into in order to work with this person. Yeah, you're a trickster. Well, I'm crafty. I see you. I hear you. I've got your number. I don't necessarily trust you just because you seem kind at first. And I'm not advising suspicion, but I am advising a protection of your boundaries. This person may be someone from your past. May have been someone that you knew in your youth. It seems like they're coming to offer you a gift. It could be a family, friend, or ex-lover even. This is soulmate energy on the table sometimes, but that can be just a friend. And it can be someone who seems like a friend and seems like they have a gift to offer. But like I said, the message coming through the strongest is meditate so that you see the other strings attached, or at least have constantly in mind that they might be there, a constant awareness that they could be there. In your inner world, like in your higher mind, you know that the choices that you're making at this time will ripple into your future for a while. You are creating your destiny. That's not always true of all of us. We're not always all using our free will. We're not always all able to make a choice that takes us in a direction that we'll choose the course for a long time, if not the rest of our lives. But you're in that space right now. I think you're still choosing your direction. And I think that's why he and his offer, especially if it's monetary, but no matter what it is, can be super enticing, because you're still deciding on your direction. You're clearly a creator. You've clearly got a creation already to share with the world, or one in mind that you want to create. But you're still deciding on whether or not you're going to take that path, possibly because you need someone else to have all the tools that you need. And this is Aries energy as well. What I feel is, but certainly if it's a Taurian energy, be super careful. And if it's an Aries energy, then this message may be a little too harsh. Perhaps all this represents is just that they're an Aries energy, not a trickster. But like I said the first time, I wouldn't get too hung up on the specific signs, because we all have all of these energies in our chart, regardless of whether you're particularly, aware of your astrological makeup or particularly familiar with it. We've got all of these energies. Don't be blinded by this. I keep saying this in all my messages. I am not trying to turn something positive and beautiful into something negative, or to put a soap opera on the table. It's what the cards say. Don't be blinded by this in the near future. Yes, it lightens everything in the reading, lightens every card's messages, every message, which is very much why this, another reason why this may just be a breakthrough. It may just be the truth coming to light, and there may not be a lot of crumbling away of other things in order for you to see it. For some there will, for some there won't, but the sun lightens all of that up. It does. And the fact that you'll have this authenticity and truth and brilliance and joy in the near future, yes, it's beautiful. But these readings, and I keep saying this, are never going to just say, hey, everything's great, you don't need to be here. There are too many people that watch them. If everything's great and you don't need to be here, the message just won't be for you. If it looks gorgeous, it's going to point out the pitfalls. It's going to point out the pitfalls, any potential problem that could either take you off a course you want to be on, or keep you from getting onto one that you want to be on, right? And the move is meditation. That's what this is about. Bottom of the deck overall, this is about, are you going to go in this space and find gratitude for what you have all on your own, and find a way to work on your own without compromising beliefs or working with someone suspicious who may ultimately cost you more than they give you, or not? And there's a reason why I said it the way I did. I can't make you do it. I can show you why you need to. I'm not saying, if you're not an avid meditator now, I'm not saying that you can reach this point, what I'm about to describe, tonight or tomorrow, but I'm also not saying you can't. There is a state of meditation that you can get into so deep that it is dreamlike. And for me, it took repetitive practice, years and years and years, and I still can't achieve the state all the time, but everybody's different. Everybody's mind is different. You can reach a dreamlike state where, if you already have met this character or meet him shortly, or whenever you do, and it could be a she, it's just, depicted as a man here, you can ask them questions the way that you might in a dream, only this is a meditative state that's like a waking dream, and characters, both just in your mind or real characters in your life, like in dreams, will show up, and you can half conscious, half unconscious ask them questions and find the truths that are in your higher mind and your subconscious, which, as we all know, is what's actually running the show, right? But if you resist any type of connection with it, any type of meditation, or even attempting to reach a state like that, right, then you can avoid all of the information it has to offer you. And it's you. It's not the cards. It's not me trying to tell you things. It's you trying to tell you things. So again, not to turn something beautiful into something negative, but this final outcome, some of you can alter this and you don't have to go through this tower moment. And for those of you that find it is inevitable, it's going to leave you feeling much more like yourself, And it's going to leave you with nothing but the truth and authenticity that you find in the near future, the clarity. Nothing but that. That's just the last sort of piece to the puzzle. Whereas you think this person has the last piece to the puzzle. When and if things totally fall apart and you're just left with who and what is true to you, that will actually be the final piece of the puzzle. Be crafty in working with this person. Focus on your money. Focus on your money. And this, if this has to do with your money, if this has to do with your empire, your wealth, your health, your income, your resources, focus on that. That's what this is saying as your advice card. We want to focus on that. We want to draw one. We're way over time, but we want to draw one clarifier on the magician card. But that's the focus. That's where the extra strings may be attached, right? That's absolutely where this person could cost you more than they have to offer you, is in terms of money. It may seem like they're just a, kind of crude elementary example, but it may seem like they're trying to offer you an investment in your creation and in your project, but ultimately, what's the cut that they're taking? I don't think anybody's going to bypass looking at the contract or looking at the fine print, but it's something very much like that. There are some strings attached. And normally we see that with the Devil card, not the Magician, but the Magician too. Oh my, can you grab that so it doesn't set on fire? Okay. But ultimately the Magician too can be a trickster.
Got it.
Sometimes that's the, thank you. Sometimes that's his nature. And there is always multiple messages coming through. Like I said, for some it's just an Aries. Wow. All right. Clarifier on that Magician. 10 of Swords. So your dealings with this person are going to come to a painful ending. But that will be the end of a negative, painful cycle. Perhaps you had a habit of trusting people like that, or compromising to work with people like that, or compromising for the investment they can offer you. You're not going to do that anymore after you deal with this person. For those of you who the message is resonating. So with that, Scorpios, we will leave it in your very capable hands. I know that I can. Thank you so much just for checking out the message. I hope that nothing here makes you feel boxed in or determined. This is just a snapshot of the path that you're on now. Like I said, often the whole purpose is so that you can edit your path the way that you like. And if it didn't resonate, it didn't resonate. I think I already told you about private readings. Just scroll down to the description box below. Thank you so much for all of your support, not just watching, but likes, comments, subscribes, emails to me, messages, orders, donations. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. And I hope that you all make wise choices for yourselves moving forward and creating your own destiny. I love you, and I will post another reading for you very soon.